The Tucker's decision to use Clara's school as the center of a trap for a wild Scovox blitzer results in revelations in her personal life. Meanwhile, the Doctor's mechanical quarry, which has enough firepower to decimate entire planets, is running amok in the halls of Coal Hill. Welcome, friends and companions. How are you today? I'm doing great. Yes, it's time for a live stream because I'm passionate and enthusiastic about Doctor Who. And at every nanosecond, I'm become more and more enthusiastic and passionate about Doctor Who. It's my most beloved sci-fi series. Yes, sci-fi fantasy fans and all sort of fans meet on this channel for fun chats about books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who. Yeah, yeah. So, random, because we discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books, and music. We don't do politics and religion because these are not entertainment. We want a fun, laughter, jokes, and humor. Yes, random because we broadcast on non-fixed times, actually many different times. That's also the case with the Doctor who travels to time and space in past, present, and future. There are many time zones in this world, so to serve as much people as possible, I live stream on many different times. Yes, so you need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Actually, um, random. Also, because we have no guest or different guests. It depends who wants to join me in the live stream or panel. If you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via YouTube. You can put a comment under one of the videos, or you can visit and meet me on Discord server and we'll look what is possible. And it's also possible to invite me for your channel. I'm available to contribute to your channel and to talk about the things you're interested in. So, in summary, you are invited uh, for a panel in my live stream. And feel free to invite me for your live stream and panel. So the Discord server is called Run Entertainment Channel Tag Doctor Who. So cheers, mate. I'll have lots of fun. This is your host, Enigmatic Joker. That's me. Today we have the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi. Yes! And this time we do the story The Caretaker. So, as usual, we first do some general info uh, for the story. So, okay, let's go. The Caretaker was the sixth episode of Series 8 of Doctor Who. It contributed to the Promised Land arc by introducing an underling of Missy and giving her location a new name, the Nether Sphere. It had the Doctor and Clara deal with an alien threat to Coal Hill School, leading to both Danny Pink and Courtney Woods meeting the Doctor and subsequently discovering his true nature. Building on the experience of writing The Lodger in Closing Time, Garrett Roberts and Steve Moffat tried to match the former for threat, feeling there was an excessive amount in Closing Time, which had included backstory for the antagonists at the expense of other teams. For this reason, it was decided that the first draft had the right amount of threat and that it would be unnecessary to add more later. Doctor Who Magazine 478. So, we now dive into the plot. Get ready, fasten your seatbelt. Okay, let's fly the TARDIS. Clara and the 12th Doctor are chained to post on the desert planet. He asks her for the vibro cutters. However, Clara tells him that she left them in her other jacket. The doctor is baffled, wondering why she has two jackets. Is one of them malfunctioning? However, Clara then tells him that she couldn't have handed him the fiber cutters since they are chained up. She worries about dying of dehydration, but the doctor tells her that the sand piranhas will get to them before that happens. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Sand piranhas. Ma. Okay. Somehow, the doctor and Clara manage to free themselves. Clara gets back home just in time for Dave Danny, who notices the tan she's developed from being stuck on the planet for so long. She passes it off as the result of a tanning bed. Oh. Later, Clara tries to leave for a date with Danny, only to find the doctor waiting outside her bedroom. He offers her to take her to see fish people. Curious, she boards the TARDIS. Once the trip is over, Clara heads to meet the taxi Danny is raiding in. Danny comments on her wet dress and seaweed in her hair, which Clara passes off as being due to a freak shower. That's it. Oh, Clara has a tough, but yeah, active life now in this moment. So, on another adventure, the Doctor and Clara are running from hostile soldiers as they head back to the TARDIS. The Doctor once more voices his dislike of soldiers. The exhausted Clara is dropped off at home. However, much to her exasperation, it's also her day to go jogging with Danny. So once back home, Clara collapses, deciding that she can't continue this double life. However, she regains her spirit and decides she can't quit. Oh, what a spirit! What an energy this Clara has! Oh, funny beginning of this story, Caretaker. So, very active, by the way. So the next day, she enters the TARDIS, wondering where the Doctor will take her this time. But he informs her that there won't be a trip today. She notes that he's acting mysterious, which the Doctor says is because he's a man of mystery. Yes, we know that. So, however, Clara becomes serious, telling him that he must be up to something. What is that? What is that? Let's find out. So he finally relents, admitting that he's going under deep cover, which she doesn't need to be a part of. Laughing at the idea of the Doctor going undercover, Clara tells him he'd have a good chance with the magic circle. Accepting he doesn't need her help, Clara leaves. Doctor starts fiddling with the controls as Clara sticks her head back in, giving him the I'm watching you gesture. Once she leaves again, the Doctor turns his attention to something the scanner found in East London. Clara arrives at Coal Hill School, and where she greets Danny formally in the parking lot to avoid mockery from the children. However, they all left the moment the two teachers are inside the school. They know about their relationship and have written graffiti mocking it throughout the school. Danny wonders what's up with Clara, noting she's usually in a rush or a state of anxiety before their dates. He even notes that she showed up in a space helmet once. Smiling, Clara tells him that she was busy with something all those times, but nothing odd will happen for the next few days. She's all his. Ah, so, after a meeting in the teacher's lounge, Mr. Armitage announces the caretaker Atif Basra is out sick. They have a new caretaker for the next week. The replacement walks into the room, and to Clara's shock, it's the doctor introducing himself as John Smith. He winks at Clara, and everyone leaves for an assembly as the doctor silently mouths to Clara that he's under deep cover. Danny wonders if Clara knows who Smith is, as he winked at her, but she denies knowing him. Pretending to have left her students' homework in the lounge, Clara heads back to confront the doctor. In the lounge, the doctor sees Clara enter and hides a map he was studying. Clara points out that she recognized him. The only difference is he's wearing a worn out brown coat. She demands to know where Atif is, and the doctor explains he hypnotized him into thinking he was sick. He needed to investigate without being suspicious. When Clara says that the doctor does a poor job at pretending to be human, he defends himself by pointing out that he was able to live among others for a month while he was soaking after having a big fight with River. Clara yells that humans are not like others. The doctor says that's what makes it easier. The doctor says he needs to get to work as the walls need sponging. And there's a sinister puddle. Before he leaves, Clara demands to know if there is an alien in the school. The doctor retorts there is, since he's there. Clara immediately deduces the doctor is up to something involving the school, but he dismisses her. Unnoticed, she glares at him, causing him to raise his broom in defense. Pushing the broom away, Clara demands that the doctor answer a single question. Are the kids safe? Doctor tells her no, but soon the answer will be yes, if she leaves him be. He then leaves, telling Clara to go sing with the otters. So Clara loudly whispers that she hates him, which the doctor says is a perfectly normal reaction. Oh, 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 oh yeah. Meanwhile, CSO Matthew finds two kids from the school near an abandoned building. He tells them to get to school, with them retorting that it's free periods. He threatens to take their names down, annoying the kids into leaving. Hearing a noise inside, Matthews heads it in to see if another kid is in there. Hearing an electronic voice, Matthew thinks it's a game and tells the kid to shut it off and head to school. However, a robot reveals itself instead and reduces the officer to charred pieces. During one of Clara's lessons, she is distracted by the doctor outside the window. He tells her that she got the date on the autobiography of Jane Austen wrong. Irritated, she asks if he knows this because he met Austen doing some kind of ridiculous adventure. However, the doctor explains it's because he read the biography on the back of Pride and Prejudice. Clara tells the confused students that Doctor is Mr. Smith, the new caretaker. The doctor resumes his caretaking duties while placing small devices around the school. Later, Clara catches sight of the doctor working on the substation with Danny and Adrian talking to him. Worried, she walks over to him, but is stopped twice. First by a student named Tobias, and then by Armitage, who explains about needing someone to help with an upcoming fair. Clara, having not paid attention, agrees. She manages to get outside, only to be bothered by Courtney Woods, who she completely ignores, telling her to deal with her own problems. Courtney retorts, Ozzy loves the squatty, confusing Clara. The doctor continues working on the substation, with Adrian leaving to deal with a student. Then he tells the doctor about being a soldier before coming to work at the school, which makes the doctor thinks that he is a PE teacher instead of a maths teacher. Once Danny is gone, Clara wonders if the doctor noticed Danny looked like Orson Pink. He didn't, but asks if Clara's boyfriend is at the school. They are interrupted by Adrian, who needs help with class. Doctor notices that Adrian looks like his last incarnation and comes to the wrong conclusion that Clara is dating this man because of the resemblance. So, laughing to himself, the doctor leaves the teachers to continue talking as he returns to the caretaker's storeroom, where he has parked the TARDIS. He's soon bothered by Courtney, who needs paper towels. The doctor gives her the towels and sends her off after some snarky remarks are exchanged between them. Clara enters as Courtney leaves, wondering what the doctor is up to. Relenting, the doctor admits that he scanned for dangerous elements around the area. Annoyed, annoyed that he gave in to her pestering, the doctor notes that he once had a teacher just like her. Clara retorts that he still does since she travels with him. He activates a hologram, which shows a Scovox Blitzer, a machine that will kill without any concern as to whether its victims actually pose a threat. It was attracted by residual Artron energy in the area. Knowing it will eventually destroy Earth, he aims to send it away. The military will just mess things up. They head inside the TARDIS where Clara asks what the insanely dangerous plan is. The doctor reveals that he'll use an invisibility watch to prevent the Blitzer scanning him and use the sonic screwdriver to lead it to trap. But our chronodyne generators will send it billions of years into the future through a vortex. As he doesn't need her help this time, the daughter tells Clara to go canoodle with her boyfriend, telling her that he did recognize him and has given his approval on their relationship. Clara smiles, not knowing the doctor mistook Adrian for her boyfriend. She leaves the caretaker's storeroom, happy. Then he finds her, saying that he will find something else to do that evening, as she has a look that tells him she will be busy. Oh, oh, oh. So the doctor exits the storeroom with Danny asking Clara's opinion of him, as he seems shady. She retorts that the caretaker has nothing but nice things to say about him. Oh, how nice. Once done with her work for the evening, Clara returns to the TARDIS, telling the doctor that her plans were cancelled. Seeing no one there, she wonders if the doctor has turned invisible and is messing with her. Danny likewise is leaving for the evening, but notices one of the generators under a fire alarm lever. He examines it, thinking the doctor is up to something. Clara leaves the storeroom. He walks up to it with the generator in hand. He notices another one in a flower basket and removes that one as well. Elsewhere, the doctor finds the Blitzer's location. He turns invisible and uses the sonic screwdriver to lure it into his trap. Then he notices the Blitzer walking through the school hall. Doctor arrives and decloaks, but finds to his horror that the generators have been deactivated due to Danny's interference. The Blitzer arrives and the doctor attempts to reason with it, but the machine refuses to listen and targets him. Then he enters to talk with the doctor about the devices, catching the Blitzer's attention. He drops the generator he is holding and the devices turn back on. Clara enters, giving the Blitzer more confusion, trying to hit any one of the trio. The Blitzer fires a blast that burns a hole through two stacks of chairs. The doctor dies for the control for the generators in the confusion. The doctor activates the generators, sucking the creature into the time vortex, along with some chairs. The tear closes, and the doctor rushing to scan it. Clara wonders if the Blitzer is gone and if Earth is safe. Doctor tells her the scan revealed that it will come back in 3 days rather than a billion years' time, thanks to PE ruining the precise positioning of the devices. This will force the doctor to come up with a new plan as the machine will now kill him on sight since he has been scanned and pegged as a hostile target. Clara demands to know what Danny was doing there, to which he starts to explain. However, he then demands to know why Clara is there and why she is using alien words. The keep Danny in the dark about the secret part of her life, Clara tries passing off the events as rehearsal for a play, but Danny immediately sees through her lie. Coming to a wrong conclusion that Clara is from space and that Doctor is her dad, Danny earns annoyance from both of them. Doctor wonders how Danny can mistake Clara for his daughter, commenting on how they look the same age. Clara points out that the doctor has gotten their ages wrong again, to which he says he was being kind, thinking she's the older one. The doctor takes out the Sonic, ready to erase the night's events from Danny's mind, promising Clara that he will not try to erase his mind entirely. However, Clara stops him, reminding the doctor that Danny is her boyfriend. The doctor is stunned, wondering about Adrian. Clara tells him that Adrian is just a friend and not her type. Danny asks Clara why she never told him about a doctor. Clara explains it's because he's an alien. When asked if she's one as well, Clara insists that she's a human from Blackpool. The doctor walks up to the stage and pulls back the curtains to reveal the TARDIS, prompting Clara to explain they travel the universe in this time machine that's bigger on the inside. However, it's stuck, looking like an old police telephone box. Doctor opens the doors to show Danny the inside of the TARDIS. Danny wonders if the doctor brought the Blitzer to Earth. Annoyed, the doctor tells him that he will protect Clara and him from it, and reminds him it's only coming back because Danny interfered with the plan, and they therefore caused more danger. Danny wants to call in the military, but the doctor tells him that is the worst idea. Clara takes Danny home to deal with the shock, and the doctor tells her to finish the job by explaining to him about Danny once the Blitzer has been taken care of. At Clara's flat, she has finished telling Danny about her travels with the doctor. Danny is silent, prompting her to ask him to speak. Danny recaps what Clara told him. The doctor used to resemble Adrian, but changed into a Scottish caretaker. And when Clara's not with him or teaching, she's off traveling throughout the time with the doctor. He asks her why she travels with him, which she attributes mostly to the wonders that she experiences. Then he struggles to accept whether or not Clara loves the doctor romantically, which she denies. Parenting's evening arrives, and Clara gives Danny the invisibility watch. He turns invisible, and she takes him with her into the TARDIS so he can watch her interact with the Doctor, who has nearly finished building a device to fight the Blitzer. Clara tells him that she has explained to Danny and that he gets it. She too proved the Doctor's opinion of Danny, but to no avail. Doctor mentions something is odd, suddenly suggesting that they go off as he's bored. She reacts boredly, and then he realizes that the Doctor knows he's there. He turns off the watch, becoming visible. Doctor reveals that Time Lords can feel an invisibility shield when it's right next to them. Seeing the Doctor's title as a Time Lord to be pompous, then he mockingly responds to the Doctor's demand to leave the TARDIS, like a soldier taking an order. This brings out the militant side of the Doctor, and the two men trade insults in a heated confrontation. Clara and Danny leave the TARDIS. Clara reminds Danny that he can't go home as it's parents' evening. Oh, the Doctor lags at the door, wondering why he never seems to learn his lesson about humans. Courtney Woods enters the storeroom, asking the Doctor what's really in the police box, so he shows her. She asks if she can go with him, to which the Doctor says he might have a vacancy. Yeah, yeah. I'm also available to travel with the Doctor. Haha. The Joker with the Doctor. The Doctor and the Joker. Yes. The Doctor mysterious and I'm enigmatic. Yeah. So, as the parents arrive at the school, Blitzer unexpectedly returns from the vortex. Inside the TARDIS, the Doctor is putting away his tools when, much to his horror, the alarm goes off. It's way too soon. Grabbing his device, he summons Clara through the door, prompting her and Danny both to leave. Courtney's parents, who were talking to Danny, expect that their daughter was right about the two teachers' relationship. Outside, the Doctor reveals that the Blitzer has returned and if reaches the hall, everyone at parents' evening will be killed. So Danny suggests that they evacuate everyone, but the Doctor yells at him to shut up and let him decide the plan. The plan is for Clara to attract the Blitzer with the sonic screwdriver, taking it on a wild goose chase away from the civilians. She needs to keep it busy for a couple minutes while the Doctor finishes the device. Clara will then lead it to the caretaker's storeroom. He tells Danny to do one very important thing: keep out of their way. The plan seems to work. Doctor speaks into his device and makes the Blitzer think he's a Scovox artificer. It's general. Doctor tells the Blitzer that there is no conflict and to shut down. It obeys, pending a final authorization code. Instead of deactivating, the Blitzer has begun a self-destruct countdown. Doctor tells Clara to distract it while he hurriedly tries to prepare the code. But she is unsure what to do. Just then he yells out to the Blitzer. He runs and jumps over it as it fires its lasers at him. This distracts it long enough for the Doctor to give the final code, deactivating the Blitzer. Then he reveals to Clara he was following her with the watch, vows to protect her. He tells her that he only needs to do one thing, which the Doctor confirms, to prove he's worthy of Clara. This is the reason that the Doctor is so angry. He wants to make sure Danny is the right choice for his best friend. The Doctor takes the Blitzer into space and ejects it from the TARDIS, taking Courtney on her first trip. Unfortunately, Courtney is unable to cope with the immensity of the universe and finds herself feeling rather ill, whereupon she rushes back inside and is sick. Doctor is not too pleased that someone made a mess in his TARDIS. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Back on Earth, Clara and Danny watch television. Danny tells her that the Doctor reminds him of previous commanders he has known, who pushed their soldiers to get them to do more than they realized they were capable of. He points out that Clara obeyed the Doctor without being scared, and he worries that he might push her too far one day. He insists that Clara promises to tell him if that happens. Elsewhere, CSO Matthew is in a long wide office corridor with many doors on either side of the hallway. He's talking to a person named Seb at an information desk, not realizing that he is now dead. Seb tries to break the news gently, having encountered many new patrons to the afterlife. He tells Matthew that the place has many names, including the Promised Land. Seb personally refers to call it the Nethersphere. They notice Missy appear from one of the doors. She gives a stone-faced glance. Seb tells Matthew that Missy is quite busy at the moment, before asking him if he has any questions about his new existence in the Nethersphere. And that, my friends and companions, is the end of the story, The Caretaker. The Doctor is played by Peter Capaldi. Clara is played by Jenna Coleman. Denise is played by Samuel Anderson. Courtney Woods is played by Alice George. Adrian is played by Edward Harrison. Mr. Armitage is played by Nigel Betts. CSO Matthew is played by Andy Gillies. Noah is played by Nanya Campbell. Yashi is played by Joshua Warner Campbell. And Kelvin is played by Oliver Barry Brooke. Tobias is played by Ramon Morgan. And Mr. Woods is played by Winston Ellis. Mrs. Woods is played by Gracie Goldman. And Mrs. Christofoulou is played by Diana Geddes. Scofield Blitzer is played by Jimmy V, and Sepp is played by Chris Edison. Some world building in this story. Influences is the Blitzer's design was inspired by Babyface from Toy Story. In world building and business, Minuteman Press is located near Coal School. About individuals, the 11th Doctor spent a month living among otters after he and River Song had a fight that cost him to soak. The Doctor likes the school subject maths but doesn't respect PE. Clara wonders if the Doctor's previous companions allowed him to do whatever he wanted. Clara has become trained enough in the use of the sonic screwdriver to understand how to use specific settings, and the Doctor tries to show Courtney the overrun cluster. Some cultural references from the real world. The Doctor whistles the introduction to Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2 from Pink Floyd. Clara is doing a lesson about Pratt and Pitt, just by Jane Austen, and she and the Doctor argue over whether it was written in 1796 or 1797. It was written between October 1796 and August 1797, so they are both right, actually. Adrian refers to the Tempest not being finished. After receiving invisibility watch from Clara, then he complains that it's not even a ring. And the last thing is that Clara mentions the Magic Circle, a UK organization dedicated to magic. Last thing in world building in the technology is that the Doctor asks Clara for his vibro cutters. Second thing is Doctor and later Danny uses an invisibility watch. Third thing is that Doctor uses a chronodyne generators to project the Scofield Blitzer into the future. And fourth thing is that setting 41 of the sonic screwdriver generates pulses of helicon energy. Some story notes. Banner hangs on the wall saying a spirit of adventure. This is not back to the first Doctor story, The Censor Rights. William Hartnell. In which Doctor tells Barbara Wright and Ian Chesterton that their travels in the TARDIS with him and Susan Foreman turned out to be a great spirit of adventure. Yes, yes. Oddly, the next time trailer for this episode also features footage from TV story Listen, specifically the moment where the Doctor asks Clara who she's having dinner with. No such scene plays out in the Caretaker, flashback or otherwise. Um, Another thing is that a few days after the broadcast of the TV story The Time of the Doctor, Jenna Coleman had co-starred in a miniseries Death Comes to Pemberley, based upon a mystery novel sequel to Pride and Prejudice. Coleman played Lydia Wickham. In this episode, Clara's students are heard reading a passage related to Lydia. Funny. Um, um, this episode takes place either the next calendar year or next school year after the events of Into the Dalek. In the earlier story, Danny is introduced as a brand new teacher at Coal Hill. In this episode, the father of Courtney Woods discusses with Danny how, since last year, his opinion of his daughter has changed, indicating that Danny has been a teacher for some time by this point. The Blitzer was initially identified as a relic of war between the Scofox and the Ulverites. Next, notice that the Doctor originally teleported the Blitzer back to its planet of origin, and then his interference simply gave it a chance to escape, rather than propelling it 3 days forwards in time. The Blitz's refuge was originally an abandoned house, and it became a derelict industrial site to provide more space for the war machine to move around. Another story notice that the head teacher was initially Miss Coburn. She was named after Anthony Coburn. She was ultimately replaced with Mr. Armitage in order to align with Into the Dalek story. Upon learning of the premise, producer Nicky Wilson suggested the Doctor should develop a report with one of the students. Another thing is the character Roberts initially devised Courtney Woods as a junior version of Amy Pond, thereby reinforcing the story's echoing of the previous era, which most obviously manifested in Adrian resembling Matt Smith. However, this approach was soon reconsidered, and Roberts instead developed Courtney as a deviant troublemaker. The character proved popular with the production team, and it was agreed that Courtney would be inserted into both Deep Breath and Into the Dalek. This episode formed block 3 of season 8 alongside Robot of Sherwood. Plans to record screen shots of the Blitzer were scuppered by a fire alarm. Another thing, the pub where Clara meets Danny was the standing set used for casualty. Yes, it's also casualty is whatever. Okay. The Black Cat was situated on the black lot of the Welsh language soap opera Pobl a Simum. And the last thing is that the closing scene was actually recorded in the costume preparation area of Roadblock Studios, which offered a distinctive round window. So, okay. And now some continuity things. Because, yeah, stories and episodes in the universe are to some extent related to each other, linked to each other, reference to each other, and influence to each other. And yeah, every time I rewatch stories and episodes, I see some new things. And there's always interpretation continuity, but these things I want to point out, and that is the Doctor previously went undercover in a school while in his 10th incarnation in School Reunion. It's with David Tennant. The second thing, the Doctor once more says, it's a roller coaster with you during a conversation with someone that goes up and down. That is a TV story, The Time of the Doctor. And that is actually Christmas special 2014 with the 11th Doctor and Clara and Handels. And the story Into the Dalek. Third thing that Clara mentions Dennis' future descendant Orson Pink to the Doctor, pointing out their similar appearance as a link to TV story Listen. Third thing that the Doctor invites Clara to meet fish people. Previously met fish people in his second incarnation, TV story The Underwater Menace with Patrick Troughton. Then he comments on the Doctor's eyebrows. The Doctor himself observed his eyebrows before into Deep Breath and a Time Heist. Another thing is that after being killed by the Scoville's Blitzer, CSO Matthew arrives in the Promised Land. You see TV story Deep Breath. You see also things about the Promised Land in links to the in Deep Breath and to the Dalek and a robot of Sherwood. Doctor says many times that a soldier can be a maths teacher. The brigadier became a maths teacher after retiring from the military, much to the fifth Doctor's surprise. You see that in his TV story Mandarin Undead with Peter Davison. The seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, was previously asked if he was applying for the position of Coal Hill's school caretaker in 1963. And we see the TV story Remembrance of the Daleks. It also with companion Ace. Um, Upon entering the junkyard, the doctor says, "Home, sweet home." His first incarnation parked a TARDIS in a junkyard near Coal Hill. Well, Susan attended the school. A TV story, An Unearthly Child. So, Coal Hill School. Much to do with Coal Hill School. Yeah. Um, the doctor mentions Clara eating two meals. She recently ate Chinese with Sai and Saibra before a dinner date with Danny, which is a TV story Time Heist. Next thing, the doctor offers to take Clara for a frost fair on the Thames. The first doctor previously visited the frost fair in 1814 with companions Vicky and Stephen in audio story Frostfire. At some point, the doctor took River Song to the frost fair for her birthday. In TV story A Good Man Goes to War. The 12th Doctor would later visit the Frost Fair with Bill Potts in TV story Thin Ice. Another thing is that the Doctor pretends to be a caretaker. The 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, previously pretended to be a caretaker to make Match Orwell and her children's Christmas special, and in fact had Match and her children call him the caretaker instead of the Doctor. In TV story The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe, and that's with Matt Smith. Um, Another thing is that the doctor comments that there have been a lot of Artron emissions in the vicinity of Coal Hill over the years. In TV story, a nurturing child attacked the Cybermen. That is with um, the Sixth Doctor, Colin Baker, and Perry, the companion. Remembrance of the Daleks, also, yeah, again, Seventh Doctor, of course. So the doctor purposely calls Danny PE in derogatory fashion due to an acquired dislike towards him. The ninth doctor, Christopher Eccleston, previously called Mickey Smith Mickey the Idiot and Ricky to annoy him. Mickey was also the then boyfriend of his female companion at the time, Rose Tyler, TV story Aliens of London. Also, then he compares the doctor to the officers who lied the claims he carries people out of. The war doctor, John Hurt, considered himself a lesser man to those forged in the fire he was creating. It's a TV story special, David Doctor, with Matt Smith and David Tennant. Additionally, Leicester had accused the Doctor's first incarnation of the same in TV story The Crusade. Another thing is that the Doctor tells Clara to shut Danny up or down. I don't care, much as he said during his second incarnation about the Daleks in TV story The Power of the Daleks with Patrick Troughton. And the last thing in continuity is that after Danny is made aware of the fact that the Doctor is a Time Lord, he starts treating the Doctor as an officer. While in an alternative version of the Dead Zone, the fifth Doctor told Polly Wright that he didn't initially tell anyone the name of his race for fear that it would make him sound like he's something he isn't. That's a link to the audio story, The Five Companions, and would get Martha Jones calling the name Pompous in the TV story Smith and Jones. And that, my friends and companions, is all I have to say about this story, The Caretaker. Okay, so commercial. Sci-Fi Fantasy fans may do this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also cover food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place for Doctor Who on this channel. Random Cause will discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books, and music. Random Cause will broadcast non-fixed times, actually many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also because we have no guest or different guests. It depends on join me in the live stream or panel. If you want to join me in the live stream, feel to contact me via Discord or on YouTube. I will look what is possible. Also, it's possible to invite me for your live stream and a panel on your channel. The Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who on Discord. And you find me very quick because I've bumped the server regularly. So cheers, mate. Have lots of fun. Your host, Enigmatic Joker. I'm looking forward to meet you. Have a nice day and have a nice weekend. See ya. Bye bye.